Just a very quick reminder of the two crews about to do battle again. Oxford, all British, save the Swiss-German Moritz Hafner in the bow seat. They're slightly lighter, slightly less experienced. Only President Ben Myers, a returning blue. Cambridge with a crew gathered from the USA, Canada, Australia and the UK, containing 4 who have done this before, 3 who tasted victory last year in Nash Roth, and their president, the quiet American Derek Rasmussen. Moments away then, and Liz Box, Cambridge in the Middlesex station, both coxes with their arms up, indicating they are not ready. Liz Box, the cox, 30 years since the first woman took part in the boat race, and Sue Brown, who coxed Oxford, and there on the far side was Sam Winter-Levy, the cox for Oxford on Surrey. David Nelson in the stroke seat, smiling away for Cambridge.
They're showing a lot of confidence, and they have done right through training. They've been very ebullient all the way through, and Oxford more down, more serious, perhaps more focused, but we'll see how that pans out now.
Does this bring back tense memories for Wayne Pommen?
Very tense memories. We're just drifting right here by Putney Bridge. Crews, perhaps you can see them over my left shoulder, about 100 yards away. They've done all their training for 6 months. They've got their kit off. They've got their hands up. They're almost ready to go. There's nothing else they can do now but wait for the start.
And nervous moments as well for Rob Clegg, who is watching this, the umpire, umpiring his first boat race. Took charge of the reserve races in 2007-9. Rode for Oxford in 94, 95, 96. Never won. That was the middle of Cambridge dominance. And he's watching here, and
get ready.
He's asking if they're ready. Liz Box's arm is down. She is ready, but Sam Winter-Levy still has his arm up. He will say simply attention and go when both are ready.
Oxford, ready. Cambridge, ready.
The arm of Sam Winter-Levy is still up. He is still not happy. Neither is Liz Box now. They have to be ready. The first stroke is so important. It has to be good. 600 more to come, but the first one is the platform on which the race is built.
Attention. Go!
But they are away now. The 157th boat race underway. All the adrenaline and nerves unleashed in a surge of power, carrying them out around 45 strokes a minute. And a mighty start, and the spray flies, and we're underway.
And it looks right at the beginning here that Cambridge have just got the edge there. Oxford got away on that second stroke faster, but certainly Cambridge moved very quickly into their rhythm. And there's a good close-up there of Simon Hislop, the Oxford stroke. But there's very little in it in these first opening strokes.
And they're urged on by the backs of the coxes, Liz Box and Cambridge on the right in the Middlesex station, and Sam Winter-Levy for Oxford. And past the cries of the crowd and the boat houses, they race on, and neck at the moment.
Oxford seem just to have about a canvas lead here at the moment. They got away well. It was being expected that Cambridge would be quicker, that Oxford had got caught up in a fixture against Leander Club. They've been beaten off the start, and Oxford are thought to be a bit slower than Cambridge. But that's not showing here now.
Liz Box making most of the noise at the moment, asking for technique as well as power, and after about a minute now they start to just drop the pace a little bit, and then there'll be a surge towards the finish again. But already the lactic acid is flooding the muscles, and it's hard work, and it will be for the next 16 minutes or so.
And they're just coming up to the first corner, end of this second minute, and they move into this first corner, which will be an advantage to the far side, to the Cambridge crew on the right-hand side, top of the screen. They'll be moving around that Fulham football ground corner, and this is the first test for the umpire, certainly, because they'll be really trying to take this corner very tight.
Grand view of it there, and they come out rather wide, and Rob Clegg, a warning for Oxford as they try and cut in on the corner a little bit.
Oxford, move!
Oxford will be trying to take that corner, trying to reduce the advantage that Cambridge have on this inside. But certainly they've got a good move there. They've got a little bit of a lead as Cambridge start to take the corner.
And there was a clash of blades, and there might be again as they come closer together. Oxford again being warned.
Oxford!
Stay loose, stay relaxed.
Both crews, Oxford and Cambridge, both crews.
That's that bend running out. Right about 35 minutes.
They seem to go wide round Craven Cottage, but the Fulham Flats comes out very shallow water to the right-hand side, so they go wide to the deeper water, the faster water, and now they spread apart again, and the umpire has done his job.
Yes. Oxford had to move quite a bit then towards the left-hand side, towards the Surrey side, and now they're having to come back in again to get back onto the stream.
Well, the first bend in favour of the Middlesex station is worth a quarter, a third of a length, perhaps.
Yes, and certainly Cambridge made the most of that. They moved back onto level terms. But now they're onto this very, very tough straight here, about 2.5 minutes straight, leading up to the big Surrey bend through Hammersmith. And here they're going to have the wind hitting them on their left-hand shoulders as they come round onto this straight.
So they head round, they've gone round past Craven Cottage, and they're heading up towards the milepost now. Wide stretch of the river.
They went very far to Surrey there on that corner, and Oxford were trying to get back into the decent water. But that's the ideal racing line. They've got to be straddling that centre line, which follows really the deepest part of the river.
They're settling into a rhythm now, and Oxford certainly have the edge, and they have the big Surrey bend to come.
Oxford at 34 strokes a minute. Cambridge just pushing a little bit higher, 36.5 strokes a minute. So Cambridge under pressure here as they come up towards the big Surrey bend.
You see the experience in the Cambridge crew of Kubash and Nash and Jeff Roth there, and Derek Rasmussen and David Nelson at stroke, and Liz Box crying more to drive them on. And very little between the two at the moment.
But Andy, you can see how far they are to the left-hand side, to the Surrey side there. So Cambridge sitting really in the best of the stream. Oxford a little bit off the stream, tighter into the corner.
Simon Hislop stroking for Oxford. He's overcome far harder challenges than this, but he's stroking a good race at the moment, and Oxford with the slight advantage.
Now this is a little bit of a playback to last year, where Oxford with half a length ahead coming into this point in the race. They moved up to 3/4 of a length ahead at Hammersmith Bridge, and then Cambridge fought back around the outside. Can they do that now? That's Maurice Hafner, the lightweight there at bow, sitting in the bow seat, and in this tandem rig that they've got set up there. He would normally be at 2 in that boat, but he's very light, so they moved it to bow so the boat goes nice and straight.
Yes, a former lightweight who has rowed at lightweight for Switzerland and Germany, 70 kilos, has put on 10 kilograms over the past 2 years, and he sits now in the bow seat, and he is the furthest man out into the river because Oxford are in front by a third of a length.
Yeah, the race still very far to the Surrey side, so Cambridge in a very good position there in the best stream. But all the time now, Cambridge trying to close down on that corner so that they can keep that advantage. But Oxford looking very calm, looking very, very relaxed. Simon Hislop in the stroke seat, looking very, very calm and relaxed. They've got into a good rhythm, and they've got the advantage now at the corner.
Well, as they come past the Harrods Furniture Depository, now rather exclusive apartments, we saw a little bit of a clash between the blades again, and they head on towards Hammersmith Bridge.
Cambridge being warned a lot there as they come up towards that bridge. There's a minute to go to the bridge. They've been going now for 6 minutes. That's the end of a 2,000-metre course. Most 2,000-metre races, the Olympic regattas, that's 2,000 metres. So that's where they finish. These Oxford and Cambridge crews, they actually start their race now around this big bend.
Let's head back down to Wayne Pommen.
Well, Cambridge have really got their work cut out here. This is the beginning of the big Surrey bend, which is to Oxford's advantage on the inside. Cambridge are now facing the next 5 or 6 minutes on the outside of the bend, and they're already about half a length down on Oxford, so they really need to focus in, put in a big push here to keep themselves in the race over the next few minutes.
Well, they're coming together again almost, but the blades aren't clashing because Oxford are almost a length ahead, and it's deja vu because Cambridge in the Middlesex station almost a length behind as they were last year, and they went on to win. Exactly
this. Now the race last year moved rather a long way to the left-hand side, to the Surrey side, and Cambridge will think, well, we did this last year, we should be able to do it again. But Oxford are in a fine rhythm there. They're moving very, very strongly. And they're not going to make that mistake that they made last year. They're not going to let Cambridge come back on them, and they're going to keep on extending that lead if they can.
So they shot the perfect line by the second lamppost under Hammersmith Bridge and past all the pubs and bars there, and the crowds again crammed in on the bank, and Oxford could not have asked for a better position at this stage, but have they spent themselves too early?
No, they've just moved about a quarter of a length clear water, and that is soon going to allow them to take the corner when they get up towards the big corner going against them to the Middlesex side later on in the race. At this stage in the race, they are in a very good position indeed.
Yes, once you get clear water between the two crews, you can choose whichever line you should want. So Oxford have had the advantage of the Surrey bend, and now if they remain in front, they can have the advantage of the final Middlesex bend as well.
Andrew, in the last minute, they took about half a length there. They've opened right up, and they've nearly got a two-length lead, and that was very, very fast.
This is the route they have taken. That is the perfect racing line there, the white line.
They've just been to the Surrey side of that. They've just been a little bit to the left of that perfect line, but it's going very well. Now, interestingly, Cambridge are now trying to move in to try and eliminate the disadvantage of their corner there. But Oxford are now two lengths clear.
Well,
and we're just reaching halfway here.
Yeah, mighty performance, Dan, from Oxford so far, and rating slightly higher on the stroke rate as well, 36 to 35. But clear water, two-length lead for Oxford, perhaps more, but as you can see, Liz Box in the Cambridge boat has taken them a little bit closer to the Surrey station, the south bank on the left-hand side. Back down to Wayne Pommen.
Well, this is really dramatic how Oxford have pulled out here to 2 lengths. They did it almost in the space of 1 minute. And now they're looking more and more comfortable. They're looking powerful. They're looking in a good rhythm. By contrast, Cambridge looking a little bit heavy, a little bit ragged. They know they're in a bad situation. They really need to dig in here in the next minute or two to make a difference to how this race is going to turn out.
And it is a surprise as we listen to Liz Box trying to drive her crew on, asking for a big push because the experience is there. The Hardy Kubash and Nelson Internationals, world champion Kubash, and Nash and Roth and Rasmussen, winners from last year. They had all the confidence, but they are being comfortably outrowed at the moment.
This has been a great move. The strong point about this Oxford crew is they've been really trained physiologically to develop real endurance, because last year they were caught out. This year they've really worked very hard.